We are in opening day 2028. Welcome back to another Out of the Park 23 video. This, of course, is the Kansas City Royals sim that is no longer a Kansas City Royals sim because they fired me, in case you missed the last video. So what we're doing is we're just going to sim out. I think the plan is probably the rest of Bobby Witt's contract, assuming he sticks with the team. So that's another 3 years. We'll see at that point. I'd imagine they might extend him, but you never know with these Royals. So 2028 sees the Royals coming into the preseason predicted to win 86 games and tie for the NL Central Division crown. You might remember that the team that finished 500 last year that I got fired from during the year was predicted to win the division and win 91 games. That obviously didn't happen. And the year before, the season that put me on the hot seat in 2026, we were predicted to win the division, I believe. We're predicted to make the postseason, maybe, and we went 72-90. So these predictions have not treated the Royals well. So they made a couple interesting trades, or I think one interesting trade. Let's get into it, and then I'll show you the opening day roster, and we'll see how the season plays out. So this is just, Jordan Adams designated for assignment. If you watched the last video, they traded like the first guy I ever drafted basically for Jordan Adams, Cam Collier, who for some reason is still not a major league player, even though in the majors he's had 106 plate appearances and put up a 120 WRC plus. But fair enough. Anyways, won't go down that rabbit hole too much. So January, March, just gonna make sure. I know there's one trade I want to show you from the offseason. Make sure they didn't do anything here that I potentially missed. Nah. All right. They did draft Christian Walker in the Rule 5 draft, who's been in AAA for the last several seasons, and he's now their starting first baseman. So this was the trade. They traded Luke Murphy, who you may remember was something of a fixture in the back end of my bullpen. I believe he was already on the Royals. I signed him to a minor league contract. I didn't really realize that. In 2022, he was a guy that I had signed. And he ended up coming up and being a really good reliever for us for several seasons. And so he was traded to the Yankees. Here, let's go back. All right. And the Royals got left fielder Andrew Billings, who I think looks like, other than the fact, he looks like a good prospect to get back for a reliever. Really good contact potential, avoid Ks, gap power. He's not going to hit for much power. The eye discipline doesn't look great, but he's been a good hitter in the minors so far. Looks like he was just drafted last year. Yeah, 54th overall pick in the 2027 draft. I like getting a player like that. Of course, his defense is really going to limit him. He's basically like a first base DH type, but if you can add a guy who was the 54th overall pick in the draft last spring, and he's more advanced as a college hitter, and he's a right-handed outfield bat, I don't know. I think that's a good trade. This guy, I think he could become an asset to the team, although obviously the defensive limitations are real. And they also got back this guy who the Yankees drafted in the 10th round in 2026. So another recent draft pick and another college guy who is advanced along to high A now. So adding two interesting players to the system while you're in a rebuild for a reliever, I think that's a good deal. Of course, Singer rejected the qualifying offer. He went to the San Francisco Giants. He signed a 5-year, $102 million deal. The end of an era here in Kansas City. He had a very good Royals career. He pitched over 1,100 innings. He put up 22.4 WAR. He pitched at 3.81 ERA. Thank you for your service, Brady Singer. He made 2 All-Star teams. He really did. He did as well as you could expect in this sim. Starting 30+ games pretty much every year. Some years pitched borderline ace, and some years pitched more like a really solid number 2, but a top of the rotation arm, a top 1 or 2 guy in your rotation. Nicky Lopez also obviously rejected the qualifying offer. He went to the White Sox, where he signed a 5-year, $85 million deal. And so the end of the road for him, he had some injury issues, the 61 games, 119, 87 games. He had some years where he was really bad with the bat. but it didn't matter because he was so good with the glove. And his last 2 years, when he was healthy, he was hitting really well. But a lot of injuries. He only won one Gold Glove. I think part of that was probably due to the missed playing time due to injuries. But so both those guys have moved on. That was really the only trade because, again, this team doesn't have any budget space. What's their budget is now at 130. If you remember, my budget went from 192 to 150 after I had that bad year. 2026 was 192. Then I lost 90 games, and they cut me to 150 for 2027. And now in 2028, it's down to 130, and then it's looking like they're going to cut it to 118. So good luck being competitive. They do still have the top farm system in baseball. This guy, what are we going with here? Margalio? Like it reminds me of Maglio Ordonez, is what I see here. But anyways, so we'll go with Margalio, and he played in rookie ball last year. I probably promoted him too soon. They put him back down in rookie ball, and he did really well. He's now 20 in high A, so yeah, he's got some potential to be. He's been the number one prospect in baseball for like ever since 2024. He's only in high A. And then Jose Cardenas is a top 10 prospect too in high A. And then a bunch of other top 100 guys who are just really young. Most of these guys are guys that I signed or drafted. And speaking of guys that I signed or drafted, there are plenty on this team still. Witt Jr. Is a guy that I brought in a trade. Ohtani I signed. Nemho I traded for. Melendez was obviously here. Walker they brought in the Rule 5. Devers they brought in a trade after I had moved on. Garcia was a trade that I made that I didn't really think worked out very well, as he put up just the 52 WRC plus, but he's back as a starting shortstop. These defensive ratings certainly are pretty good. And then RJ Mayer is a guy that I drafted 13th overall in 2022, and he's never really, he did win a Gold Glove in 2027. Nice. He's never really found his footing as a hitter in the league, but if you can put up 2.3 WAR with a 71 WRC plus, I'd say your defense is pretty good. Other players on this team in terms of bench, Omar Hernandez is still the backup catcher. Brooks Lee is here, of course, traded from him from San Diego in 2025. Nick Lofton still somehow around. I mean, he was up, down, and then I was ready to get rid of him. Yeah, he played in AAA a lot last year. He did win 2 playoff MVPs, the 2023 AL Wildcard, 2024 AL Division Series MVP. We're in 2028, though, man. Like, he's making $1.74 million. You could save $1 million by having a league minimum dude do whatever he does. Let's see. Xavier Bussey, I traded for him back in 2023 and had him in AAA where he's like a league average hitter. He was then demoted to A-ball where he became a monster. Not became a monster, where he hit really well, obviously, because he was overqualified for the level. So, but now he's made their team out of camp. I don't know. He's got a 75 outfield range. Or 70 outfield range. Maybe he can push Mayer for playing time. Let's see. Do they have him? So he's back up at all 3. But, yeah, it doesn't look like he's just not like every 5th game or just when Mayer is tired. Nemho is the DH. Pitching side of things, Marsh is back after missing all of the 2027 season. So the ace is back. Ohtani, Zerpa, those are mainstays. Tristan Potts is a guy that I drafted in 2024 and has not pitched above high A, but he's going to start the year in their rotation. It's pretty cool. Really good stuff. Great changeup. Joey Estes was brought in as a waiver claim after I was gone and pitched really well. Some of these guys are guys I brought in. I feel like Kalich. Oh, they re-signed him, I think, because I had him on my team for a while, and it says they signed him just in 2027. Okay. I don't know what happened. Yeah, because he was 25, 26. Oh, and then he moved on somewhere. Okay, anyways, he's back. Caraway is a guy that I claimed on Rule 5 and has worked out really well in the bullpen. Gurton was a guy we traded for. Kennedy was a draft pick, 2025, round 6. Burrows, I don't remember. Okay, yeah, he was signed as a... Gus Hughes is a guy we brought in a trade in 2026. And then Alfredo Garcia came in from the Yankees in 2023. What was that trade again? The Sal Perez trade. Nice. This was he's been around though for he's pitched 234 innings over the last 4 seasons for us. So that's the squad as it stands. So I'm just going to go ahead and sim out the season here. Come back. We'll see how they did. Let's see. Oh, salary-wise, Marsh has an option year, but like Ohtani, Witt, Melendez, no last year their deals there. Seth Martinez, I guess, is in the last year of his deal, but he's in AAA. That's interesting. No one else really. Yeah, pretty consistent in terms of who is still under club control next year. One interesting storyline is Manny Machado is on the trade block. So last year of his deal, the Padres are still looking competitive, and he's still been really good. He's still their cleanup hitter, but they have him listed as on the trade block, which is an interesting decision. So maybe their rotation headlined by Shane Bieber can lead the team to prominence, and the 7th best third baseman in the league, Manny Machado, will be taken off the trade block. But let's go ahead and see how this season plays out. Just going to sim it out, see what the Royals do, and then we'll do this. We'll do this for a few more seasons. So 2028 results coming at you in a second. All right, the 2028 season is complete. The Royals finished 79 and 83. Let me show you what happened. So the Braves beat the Padres in a 7-game series. I don't think the Padres traded Machado. They did not. Oh, looks like they re-signed him. Okay, good for them. They found peace. A 3-year, very nice $69.4 million deal. The last year being a vesting option. What kind of year did Machado have? 5 WAR with a 112 WRC plus. So he's still just killing it. Awesome. All right, so our Royals, as you saw, they went 79 and 83. Their run differential was a -13. They were 30 and 51 at home, but 49 and 32 on the road. Okay, fair enough. And let's go to their info page. The offense 11th, which is actually kind of an improvement over where it's been, and their starters just continue to be great. Overall pitching's great. Overall, the defense is great. That's the same old story. MJ Melendez missed a lot of the year, which is kind of brutal. He's been out since May 17th with a broken kneecap, but he was on a torrid pace there to start the year. Ohtani was great. Nemho had a breakout season. He went yard 30 times and slugged .503. Buelvis put up a 115 WRC plus, only 10 home runs, but I think he's not a power guy, right? Yeah, his power's a little lower, but he hit 24 doubles, 10 home runs in 422 plate appearances. Nick Lofton only got 70 plate appearances, but was above league average. The surprising thing here is Bobby Witt Jr., 94 WRC plus. I'm not really quite sure what caused it based off of the metrics that Out of the Park gives us access to. Walk rate was about the same. Strikeout rate was down. Now, the BABIP was down pretty heavily, but at 312, but he's had years where he was, he's 327, 330, 320, 290. He's had years where his BABIP's been a bit lower. Of course, this is the lowest, but surprising that he had that down of a year, despite there not being like an obvious thing there in kind of like the dashboard numbers that we look at. Not a lot else happened here. Bussy wasn't much of anything. Not a lot else going on offensively. Pitching side of things, you'll notice that Alec Marsh is not here because they traded him way back in May, which is surprising. They lost Melendez for the season and I guess then decided to punt, but still ended up decent. I don't hate the trade they made. They traded Marsh, who has one more year left. Actually, how did he do when he went to the Yankees? Oh, he was great. 110 innings, 2.5 WAR, 4 ERA, 3.62 FIP. He had gotten off to a great start in Kansas City too. So good to see that his injury didn't prohibit him from having a nice comeback year. So they got Jose Araujo, who looks like he could be a stud. He ripped up rookie ball this year. A great year, 176 WRC plus in rookie ball. Now he's 21, but he's been a top 50, even a top 25 prospect at times. Right now he's, it looks like he was last ranked number 95 prospect, but really good bat to bring into the system. And then Luis Serna is a young pitcher, 24, who actually got some innings with them this year. The Yankees had acquired him in real life in 2021 as an international free agent, but he looks like a potential useful pitcher. But they've still got Ohtani. Potts was great, man. 106 innings, 2.4 WAR, 3.55 ERA, striking out 13.2 guys per nine. Again, this is a guy I drafted in the 12th round of 2024, but he went out with shoulder inflammation in July and is still out, so that's a bummer. Dane Dunning was, I think, a waiver wire pickup. Zerpa is still around. Who else pitched a bunch of innings for this squad? Robbie Snelling, who they got from Miami in 2027, was the main closer, it looks like, with 25 saves. Ryan Kennedy, a former draft pick, pitched a bunch of innings. And just some dudes. Gus Hughes, Joey Estes. Yeah. So then what gets interesting is some of these prospects are coming, man. Margalillo, he's up to Double-A. He destroyed A-ball with a 129 WRC plus. Then he went to Double-A, and then Jose Cardenas. Oh, and Margalillo was a scouting discovery in 2024, by the way. Cardenas was the international free agent I signed in 2023. He's up to Double-A. These guys are coming fast, man. Look at this guy. He's got a 70 outfield range. Yeah, I'm going to congratulate myself on this signing. This guy's going to be a stud, dude. Like, yeah. I think both these guys could be up next year with how the AI promotes prospects. This is a guy I think they drafted first overall after we won the draft lottery. Yeah, he played in rookie ball this year and was really good. He's 20. This is a guy I signed, I think. Yeah, 2024 international free agent signing. He's going to be in high A, I guess. Diaz was the 2026 international free agent signing. This is not a guy. Yeah, that's not a guy who's around when I was. Hector Diaz, I don't remember. Oh, this was their 16th overall pick in 2028. A college bat. Looks like a good player. Yeah, that guy could be up at some point soon. Cuevas, I think, was a guy I brought in. Yeah, international free agent signing way back in 2022. He had a good year in low A, but then struggled in high A. Sean Lott, I don't remember. Oh, that was their draft pick. Okay. But yeah, the help is coming in the farm system. With Marsh's contract off the books, we'll see what they do in the offseason. It'll be final year of the Melendez deal. They've got a bunch of guys in arbitration. Like, you're really going to pay Christian Walker $2.2 million after why do they give him so many at bats? Come on, guys. Come on. All right. So let's get into it and see what the 2029 Royals are going to look like. Okay, opening day 2029. Let's get rolling. Your Royals are predicted your Royals. That's a habit. They are not your Royals. They're not my Royals. They're the nobody's Royals because they hurt us. They fired us. Predicted, though, our Royals, all right, fine, are predicted to win 91 games, win the division. In the prediction, Ohtani looking at a great season, both as a top pitcher and a top hitter. Old friend of the program, Brady Singer here, predicted to have a good season. He was really good in his first season in San Francisco. 2.80 ERA, 3.86 FIP. Benefited from playing in the spacious confines out there in San Francisco. Yeah, so Ketel Marte returned to Arizona. He was a free agent, but he came back. He signed not until February. And why do I keep doing that? Signed a 3-year deal. Got a big no-trade clause. Looking pretty tight here, though. The Cubs, the Rockies, the White Sox, the Twins. Top hitters and pitchers still, a lot of predictable names. Soto, Guerrero. Who's this Yates fellow? The Orioles' 5th overall pick in 2025, who had a great rookie year. Or second year, 150 WRC plus in 578 plate appearances. Lordy. Bryce Harper still up here at age 36. He had a really good year last year, but it looks like he's had a lot of injury issues, though. I think at Major League. The last 2 years he played 33 and then 111 games. But man, look at him still killing it, WRC plus wise. Acuna still here. Kobe Mayo, Orioles, shout out. Spencer Strider, friend Alec Marsh. I guess they picked up his team option, but then he's looking at free agency. So the Red Sox predicted to win the AL East. That's not the Red Sox. It's the wrong team. Freddie Freeman and the Yankees there. Jose Ramirez, Marcelo Meyer, nice. Okay. Julio Urias. The Nashville Box Turtles predicted to win this division. Trevor Story, Austin Riley, Alejandro Kirk, I love that. Lance McCullers Jr., and then predicted to win the NL Pacific here are the San Francisco Giants on the back of Pete Alonso, Alexander Suarez, of course, and Joshua Baez, and a guy named Brady Singer, too. So let's get to our team real quick. Not a lot changed because obviously there's no money to play around with, so they didn't make any major signings. They did make one trade. Here it is. They traded Hernandez, who's a guy who's around for much of my sim. I signed him as a minor league free agent, I think at some point. Yeah, look at all this bouncing around. Oh no, I claimed off waivers in 2024, but then he really stuck around for a while. 2024, yeah, you can see 25, 26, 27, 28. He was up most of the time. He spent some time in AAA too. In all, he pitched 156 innings for us with a 3.86 ERA, 135 games, 13 starts. He was 32. Pretty much anything they got back for a reliever, I'd be a fan of. Hector Perales looks like a okay prospect. I mean, totally fine adding a guy like this. He was a international signing. Totally fine adding a guy like this as a flyer in your system for a middling reliever. Luis Pena looks like a decently high ceiling player who's only 19. And then Kevin Autry, he's 24, not much going on there, but I don't mind that trade at all. I don't think they did much, but Tristan Potts, my 12th round pick from 2024, who just lit the world on fire for the first half of last year, his rookie year, after making the jump from high A ball. He had a setback, and he's not going to be back for another 4 months, so he's basically going to miss a year with shoulder inflammation at the age of 23. That sucks. That big time sucks. No other big moves, just a bunch of little things. But we do have still the number 2 farm system baseball. Cardenas is up to AAA. So this guy's going to be a stud. Did he have, am I remembering wrong, or did he have a 70 range? I mean, it was like 2 minutes ago for you guys, but it was a little while ago for me that I was recording. Maybe his range drop, but either way, it's going to be a great corner outfielder with an incredible bat, decent center fielder with an incredible bat. And he's in AAA, so he's coming soon. Our number 1 prospect in baseball yet again here. Man, this guy's coming real soon. Where's he going to play? Second, probably? Gosh, he's going to be good. Congrats to me for finding that guy, huh? Yeah. Hector Diaz was their first-round pick, 16th overall. He's looking like a great pick. Will he come up and replace Bobby Witt Jr.? I don't know. He could also play outfield. Crosby, Escalera still got some work to do to come up through the system. Jesus Cuevas, international free agent signing in 2022. Some of these guys are making moves, man. They're coming soon. I think there's brighter days ahead here, although they're going to have to figure out what they're going to do with MJ Melendez. Last year of his deal, and they're not going to have the budget room to sign him, I don't think. No money for extensions. They did sign Brian Buelvis to a 4-year deal. You can see 2.5, 6.2, and then 10.2, 10.2. But with the option next year, I'm assuming they'll pick that up, barring something really wild. But yeah, it could be the last year here for MJ Melendez. I don't see how they're going to have the money to sign him. Oh, Devers comes off the book. That 5% of his deal. Is he still in Atlanta? He is. And he's still getting a lot of playing time for them. He hasn't been as bad as he was for Kansas City that last year, but he's still been not very good after like an MVP worthy 2023, and then hasn't been the same since I think he had some back issues, and he signed a really long-term extension and hasn't produced. Disappointing. Anyways, let's get to the end of the season here and see how this pans out for the Royals. Okay, we've reached the end of the 2029 season. The Royals finished 77 and 85. So once again, far below their preseason predictions. Despite it, it's strange. They had a run differential of minus 21. They were 2 below their Pythagorean, despite going 24 and 16 in 1-run games, which is interesting because normally when you see a team finish below their Pythagorean, I guess, 2 is pretty close to even. But to go 24-16 in one-run games suggests a pretty fortunate season, but it didn't really bear out for them in terms of outperforming their run differential. So they didn't make the postseason. The offseason, we're into the offseason now, or it's just starting, I should say. In terms of the playoff picture this year, the Yankees won the World Series. They swept the Rockies. Of course, it's so weird how this switches, right? The Yankees are here. The Braves are here. And then it goes to this side. And then it's happened when I realigned. And then when you get back to the World Series, the Yankees go back to their correct side. So it was 2 new teams in the World Series, but the Padres did make the championship series again. But it was the same World Series as 2027 when the Rockies outlasted the Yankees in a 7-game series. I don't think the Yankees. There's Braves, Padres in. What did I click on? 24. There's 24. Yeah, the Braves really had a run here. But yeah, so it was the second World Series appearance for these two teams. It was the second against each other, and the Yankees with their first World Series of this sim. In terms of what went on with the Royals, a monster season from MJ Melendez with 6.5 WAR in 119 games. He missed some time hurt again. He is fragile, but 6.5 WAR, 148 WRC plus, 21 doubles, 29 home runs, and he's looking at free agency now. Jose Devers, a bit of a breakout season here for him at the age of 29, putting up 4.1 WAR and a 116 WRC plus as a club second baseman. Ohtani with another solid season. Bobby Witt just a 102 WRC plus, boosted by his defensive performance to get to 3.3 WAR. Buelvis and Nemho, 2 guys who I brought in towards the end of my reign, both performed well. Garcia not working out. Hector Diaz, who was the 16th overall pick in 2028, number 10 prospect in baseball in the season, got 308 plate appearances and put up a 112 WRC plus as the DH. Pretty solid from him. Although if he's DH, you're going to want a better WRC plus than that probably over the long haul. Kevin Parker is a guy who I drafted 2025 round 2. Looks like he's gotten some time in the majors in 2028, and then went from high A to double A to triple A. Man, the way the AI manages the promotions and demotions of minor leaguers in this game is a bit absurd. And then pitching side of things, Tristan Potts didn't pitch very well in his return from missing basically like a whole calendar year with a shoulder injury. Hopefully he can shake off the rust and come back better next year. His Sierra was 2.16. His ERA is 5.46, a 4.55 FIP. Ohtani pitched fine in 181 innings. No real other breakouts pitching-wise, I don't think. Josh Robertson, who is a guy who was signed as a minor league free agent, he only made one start. He pitched out of the bullpen 66 innings, 2.31 ERA. Looks like they have him lined up to be a starter possibly next season. Snelling. Anybody else here that we're interested in? I mean, Kennedy was a draft pick of mine, 2.89 ERA out of the bullpen. DeVito, I don't remember. These guys are not. Who's this guy? This is a 2025 round 15 pick, and he got up and pitched 10 innings. All right. Zerpa's still around. I don't remember that guy. Nah, he wasn't mine. It was not mine. So Jose Cardenas did come up to. Wait, was it Cardenas? So he actually didn't end up playing in AAA. They put him back down in AA, where he didn't have a great season offensively, just a 103 WRC plus, but pretty great defensively, I guess, if he put up the 3.4 WAR. He missed a good amount of time with recurring back spasms, out for 2 months. That's worrying. I think that's what led to the downfall of Rafael Devers. Margalillo made his way up to AAA finally at the end of the year after going back down to high A again, even though he had been promoted to AA the year before, and then going to AA, AAA, but he was great everywhere. Number 1 prospect in baseball again. He should be up in the majors like now. Willie Crosby dominated rookie ball for a second straight year. Not sure why he wouldn't be promoted sooner. Jose Cardenas, another good prospect, spent the year in AA and was fine, but not amazing. But the future looks bright in Kansas City. The thing that is interesting, though, is MJ Melendez has not been re-signed, and not to bury the lead here, probably should have led with this. They declined the option on Bobby Witt. It was like a $20.8 million option. I think it was, I think it was the same amount of money here that he's been making across the deal, and they bought him out. Now he's had 2 kind of down offensive years in a row after kind of like setting a lower baseline, I think, offensively than would have hoped for him. He's still like an excellent player for them, but after the 2 down years, his WRC plus across his career is all the way down to 109. Now his 162 game average is still a 5 WAR player because his defense is still good, and he had some monster years. But our first season and really the second season, he was looking like an elite player, and then he became like an all-star level player, I guess, for a while, and then he's kind of like dropped off from there to where he's still a very good player. But surprising they declined it, but maybe they can bring back Melendez with that money, even though Melendez is now let's go to the salaries. Yeah, you can see here, Witt and Melendez not under contract. Devers due for a healthy raise. Nick Lofton is still around. Goodness gracious. He had 60 plate appearances, put up a 27 WRC plus, made $2.2 million. Can't believe that guy's still around. Oh, Zerpa is a free agent. This guy has pitched. He's just kind of hung around and been decent. He's pitched 906 innings now, 4.02 ERA. But he's a free agent now. So Ohtani's got 1 year left. Melendez, he is fragile, and he's missed time each of the last couple seasons, but man, he is a beast when he's healthy. One thing that I want to look at is where these guys are on the all-time leaders. Looking on the right-hand side here, the team batting leaders, just for Witt Jr. Melendez. I might miss them on some. I'll try not to do that. Oh, here's Ohtani, 10th all-time in on-base. No Witt or Melendez in either of those. But here we've got slugging percentage. We've got MJ Melendez, 3rd all-time, behind just Shohei Ohtani at number 1 and Danny Tartabull. Sweeney and Brett rounding out the top 5. Witt was in that at some point, but I guess he dropped off with his decline the last 2 years. OPS, we've got Ohtani 2nd behind Tartabull, Melendez 6th. No sign of Bobby Witt Jr. yet. Here's Bobby Witt, 3rd all-time in WAR, and MJ Melendez 4th. I don't think either of them, they'd both have to stick around long term and still be really good for a while to catch Brett or Otis. But they are 3rd and 4th. Now and Melendez, his season he's put up was the 3rd best of all time. He put up his last 2 seasons, 2024 he put up a 5.8. 2027 Witt put up a 5.8, which are on here. But Melendez, his 6.5 he just put up his 3rd all time, breaking George Brett's grip on the top 3. Now, so 360 on base and a 464 slug is what Witt would have needed to break in here. What did he get? So the on base, 322, well below that. Wow, his on base was all the way down at 322. Wow. And a 439 slug, which 415, 408, his power's really dropped off. Not a good time to be hitting the market. I'm sure he'll still get paid though, because of the WAR he's putting up. Games, neither of them made it up onto the games leaderboard. At bats, Bobby Witt Jr. is 8th with 4,725 at bats. Runs scored, we've got Witt Jr., 708. Right behind Alex Gordon. Hits, Bobby Witt Jr., 9th all-time in hits with the 1292. Of course, Melendez being a catcher, he didn't play as many games, didn't get as many plate appearances to make it up onto that leaderboard. Bobby Witt Jr., 9th all-time in total bases. Singles, none of our dudes there. Doubles, Bobby Witt Jr. finished 9th in doubles. I shouldn't say finished. I guess they could always bring him back, but I would highly doubt that. Triples, nobody there. Home runs. Oh, yeah, this is fun. MJ Melendez is 6th with 177. Yeah, look how many he had like 1,500 fewer plate appearances than Bobby Witt, just being a catcher. Ohtani at 2958. Look how many fewer plate appearances he has than everybody else on this leaderboard. Him and Melendez, really. And even Witt to some extent, other than some of the guys at the top. So Melendez, if he played like another season, he'd probably crack top 3. Only 20 home runs behind number 3 Mike Sweeney. And certainly, if he stuck around for another 2,000 plate appearances, he would pass Sal Perez. Now, Bobby Witt finished ninth. I keep saying finished as if it's over because I'm assuming they're not bringing him back. If he stuck around for another few seasons, well, it's hard to say given how much his power has dropped off. He only hit how many home runs last year? Yeah, 11 home runs. Now, he was never a huge home run guy, but mid-20s you could count on him for. But the power really dropped off this year. RBI, Witt is 10th. None of the other dudes made it. Counting stats, they're not as high up here. Bobby Witt, 5th all-time in steals, right behind Mondesi. And caught stealing, not up there. Walks, Melendez is 10th in walks. Wow. In that, look how many fewer plate appearances he has than most everybody up here. Shohei Ohtani is 7th. Wow. But neither of them are in the single season, which is interesting that they're up here in such few plate appearances. Relative to the rest guys on this leaderboard, but didn't crack the top 10 on a season. Hit by pitch, Bobby Witt finished 9th. Congrats. And, of course, strikeouts in today's Major League. Bobby Witt 2nd, and Ohtani 8th, Melendez 10th. So, pitchers, I don't know if we'd have it. Maybe Brady Singer broke in. I'm not looking at the season one, but the all-time. Let's see. Oh, there's Brady Singer. He's 9th all-time in wins. Let's see if anybody else. Winning percentage. Ohtani is 10th all-time in winning percentage. Okay. Saves. Will Klein, 5th all-time in saves. Do it up, buddy. Luke Murphy was 10th all-time in saves. Let's go. WAR. Brady Singer is 7th. 22.4 WAR. Nice. Games pitched. Scott Barlow was around for our sim. I don't think any of those other dudes were. Games started. Singer, 6th. Wow, I didn't expect that. Not going to be up there in shutouts or any of that. Innings pitched. Singer, 10th. Hits allowed. Most hits allowed. Dubious. No. Home runs allowed. Brady Singer cracked the top 10 there. Walks allowed. Brady Singer, 9th all-time in walks. Walks per 9 innings pitched. Jacob Junis, look at him. Alec Marsh. I figured he might crack some of the, not the counting stats one. He didn't pitch enough innings, but some of the rate stat ones. Strikeouts. Oh, Ohtani, 10th in strikeouts. And Brady Singer, 4th. Man, if he had re-signed, he would have broken some of these records. Strikeouts per 9. Marsh, Ohtani, Singer. Doing it up, man. Love to see it. Yordan Ventura. Sad. K's to walks. Alec Marsh 1st. Singer 5th. Ohtani 6th. Man, so, like, it's just strange, man. Like, we've got, if you count Ohtani twice, you know, we've got 3 of the best hitters in franchise history in Melendez, Witt, and Ohtani, and 3 of the better pitchers, Marsh, Singer, and Ohtani. They were on this team together for several seasons, and we made the playoffs 4 seasons in a row. We won 92 games and 95 games. We just would have expected, like, more graceful fall. That 72-win season and then getting canned, like, yeah. It's surprising given the talent that we had here. The R WAR, anybody 10th in R WAR for Mr. Brady Singer. So that is the end of the 2029 season. Let's find out what happens with Melendez and Witt, and then decide if I'm going to sim anymore. This might be the last season we sim, but we're going to at least see where our two dudes end up signing here. All right, it's opening day 2030, and you might notice that Bobby Witt Jr. is still on the Royals. So he was extended the qualifying offer, and he accepted it. So I think that saved the Royals a little under $2 million in salary on him this season, or it cost them $18.9 million. But also left them possibly getting a draft pick, which obviously they didn't get because he accepted the qualifying offer. But who's not back is Shohei Ohtani, because they dealt him in the offseason. They retained 80% of his salary, which is just a little absurd. But it's the last year of a 7-year deal that actually worked out really well. He ended up just an outstanding hitter. Some health issues. You know, he only topped, 126 games twice over the life of the deal, which is a bit of a bummer and suppressed probably some of his counting stats. But for a rebuilding team, I thought the deal the Royals made was pretty good. Kelvin Soto is the headliner here. The big deterrent about him is he only has 2 pitches, so he's going to be a reliever. But with this slider, if that gets that good and he has that good of stuff, he's going to be a really good reliever with the 70 stamina. Could be a really good stopper out of the bullpen. He's only 19. He was a 17th round pick who then just kind of like jumped up way up in the scouting. So I think he's probably the headliner in this deal. And then Tony Trujillo, he looks like a pretty decent pitching prospect. I mean, there's a lot of floor. There's a very low floor here. Oh wait, did he leave? Oh, they didn't re-sign him. Oh, that's so dumb. It's 21 and they just let him go to minor league free agency. He was a international free agent signing. Okay, so he was a good get, I think. This is a good pitching prospect, I think, to acquire in a trade if you're a rebuilding team, but then they let him go to free agency. All right, fine, whatever. Did they just cut him, or did he become a free agent? They just released him in January. They just straight up released him, Lord. And then we've got Willie Bañuelos. And he looks like a fine enough pitching prospect. Nothing too special here, but certainly not a guy who is totally worthless or anything. I think he's a oh wow, he was a top. So he signed as a minor league contract out of the Dominican in June, and then for a year was a top 100 prospect, including a top 25 at one point. Oh wow, so he came in. So all I can see here is OSA, but he came in as a very highly touted prospect, but now looking more just like, as this OSA says, a minor league depth piece. So Ohtani's gone. MJ Melendez also gone, going to join Rafael Devers in Atlanta. He signed a 6-year, $145.2 million deal. The last year is a team option with a $4 million buyout. He's 31. He's a catcher. He's fragile. Certainly some risk, but he's won 4 Silver Slugger. He's made 6 All-Star games. And his 2, actually, I was going to say 2 of his last 3 seasons have been awesome, except for when he's hurt, but he's just been consistently great across his whole career. And so I don't know if I was playing the game, if I would have re-signed him as the Braves. It would have been tough. I wonder what he was asking them for a year before. But some risk in this deal for Atlanta, but Atlanta's had so much success in this game. I'm sure their payroll's huge. The one other little bit of breaking news for the Royals is that the number 1 prospect, the guy's been the number 1 prospect since 2024, 6 years running. He's finally in the majors. He's 22 years old, and he's in the starting lineup, batting second behind Bobby Witt. And then Hector Diaz, who was a 2028 pick, also in the lineup. And who's this guy? Oh, he's the catcher. Got it. He's some random catcher they signed. That's the Melendez replacement. And then, offense is still going to struggle. They have Bussy out here who just can't hit at all, 61 WRC plus. Mayer out here who just can't hit at all, a 27 WRC plus last year. Garcia's not going to hit. He hit a 69, which is nice, WRC plus last year. The top 5, I think, are solid bats, but from there, it gets ugly fast. Without Ohtani in the rotation, and it's just Tristan Potts and then a bunch of dudes. I'm not sure where Alec Marsh ended up signing. Let's check that out. I think this was... Oh, did he just re-sign? Oh, so he re-signed with the Yankees. So it looks like he signed prior to the 2030 season. So he never even made it to free agency, but he signed a 6-year, $126 million deal. He's 31. He's going to be 32 in May. That's pretty risky. But he did lead the league in WAR and FIP minus last year. So he had a really good year his first year in New York. I'm going to just see what happens with Witt here this season, as well as the prospects in the lineup. I think our time of following the Royals is kind of done here, but we're going to follow Witt for at least this year. We're going to follow Margolio and what's our other dude? Diaz. And then, of course, a bunch of other dudes still down that keep getting yo-yoed between different levels of ball. Jose Cardenas back in Double-A this year. Chris Escalera is a guy from 2024 that I signed who's in AA now. So there's some other guys to pay attention to. But I'm going to sim this year and then close out the episode there. And then I think maybe, I don't know, I'll figure it out. That won't be the last episode. Maybe sim forward like 5 seasons from there until like Witt retires or something, and then we can see some of Margalio's career too. But I'm just going to sim through this season, and then we'll take it from there. All right, so the Royals went 74-88 in 2030. The bigger news is, though, they re-signed Bobby Witt Jr. to a 4-year extension worth $93.2 million. It does have an opt-out after 2 years. I'd be surprised if he opts out. He put up a 105 WRC plus, 4.1 WAR. A little bit better than he'd been the last 2 years, and even with a BABIP that was down a bit, but he struck out below his career norm. He walked above his career average. It just kind of seems like he's probably a guy who's a little above league average with the bat right now, and at this point in his career. I mean, he is 30, and but really good with the gloves still. And so, how did our rookies do? Margalio had an exactly a league average year at the bat, and really 2 WARs, like a league average player as well. He's 23. I think brighter days are ahead here for our dude. And Hector Diaz missed some time hurt, but he put up a 128 WRC plus, which is that'll get the job done. They should probably, he can play the field. Like, he's got a good enough arm. Witt is kind of blocking him, obviously, at third base, but he could also play the outfield. They gave 352 plate appearances to this joker, Xavier Bussey, who I traded for back in 2023. But a 34 WRC plus, I'm not even sure. This 2028 round 4, and this is just a guy that's on the 40 man, so he's in the majors now. But Mayer, a 22 WRC plus and 515 plate appearances. Like, TJ White, 74 WRC plus. Like, get out of here. Garcia, an 86 WRC plus, not as bad. Amaya, a 67 WRC plus. Where did this team finish in runs scored? 16th. Oh, shockingly, they finished last. Man, they were 3rd in ERA, 2nd in runs allowed, 1st in zone rating. But the offense, look at that. That's so bad. Now, some of the reason their pitching was so good is because their defense is so good, and they were playing a bunch of dudes who are good defensively and terrible offensively. So, and let's see, what was their run differential? -81. And let's just check in on MJ Melendez, how he did his first year in Atlanta. He played 129 games, put up 3.8 WAR with a 109 WRC plus. So trailed off with the bat. That's his worst year at the plate. A lot of that looks like it's BABIP related, as he's a career 299 guy, just 264 this year. I don't know if that's the ballpark or what. Strikeout rate was just a tick above his career average, and walk rate was actually high, 12.5%. So first year wasn't amazing, but not like a bad year either. And then let's just see what Ohtani did. Oops. In Texas. Was he hurt? Oh, wow. He had radial nerve decompression surgery, elbow surgery. But at the age of 36, he's 36, and look at the offensive number he's still putting up. He's had a lot of injuries. I don't know. I'd probably be looking to sign him just as a hitter at this point. But pitching-wise, he was having a good year pitching-wise, too. He made 25 starts. But he's 36. So, all right. So it's October 30th, 2030. Witt's got at least 2 more, maybe 4 more, maybe even more than that, years in Kansas City. So I think I'm just going to sim ahead, 4 years to the end of the 2034 season and see where the Royals are at, see where Witt is at. We can check in on the leaderboard, see where he's at there. And then, of course, check in on some of our guys like Margaleo and Hector Diaz and some of these other dudes that are guys that I signed or drafted and are coming. Oh, who's this guy? I don't know him. Chase Tolliver. Oh, they had the 3rd overall pick this year. Wow. Oh, look at this guy. Oh, my goodness. Wow. He's got the 75 outfield range, high intelligence, and look at his bat. I mean, this guy could probably play in the majors right now. Yeah, this dude should be in the majors like next year. And they've still got Willie Crosby down here. This team is pretty stacked in their farm system. Escalera is coming up. Yeah. Wow. All right, so that's the end of this episode. Next one will probably be the last one of the sim, so I'll just like sim ahead several seasons and then check out the Royals and also look more league-wide and go over, like Soto's career, guys like that. Thanks for watching. Talk to you next time.